Here's an objection from a follower of Soteriology 101. Every baby comes into the world clean and without sin. It's the knowledge of sin that makes them guilt before God, and that comes later. That sounds like a very reasonable objection. How would you answer it?
Many Christians have gone back and forth in a lengthy manner on this objection, but the answer I have is a very simple one. It always comes back to what I call the hard axioms. More on that in the future. 3 key passages that should put an end to this objection are Acts 7 verse 51, Deuteronomy 29 verse 4, and Psalms 58 verses 1 to 5. At the end of the day, it's not about clean and without sin, but either the heart is circumcised or uncircumcised. When framing it this way, we're forced to think and look at things biblically and not philosophically or even speculatively. If the heart is uncircumcised, then the deadliest Calvinistic verse, Acts 7 verse 51, comes into view. To prove that a baby comes into the world with an uncircumcised heart, we turn to Psalms 58 verses 1 to 5. And the solution to all this is Deuteronomy 29 verse 4. That's essentially the key. It should be obvious that no one is born with a circumcised heart. Otherwise, passages such as Deuteronomy 10 verse 16 and John 3 verse 7 would be meaningless. This is why it's irrelevant whether there's a knowledge of sin or not, because foolishness is already bound up in the heart of a child. Proverbs 22 verse 15. By default, an uncircumcised heart is bent toward the darkness and rebellion. God says it himself. The imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Genesis 8 verse 21. Furthermore, Psalms 58 verse 3 tells us that the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. That's the natural inclination of an uncircumcised heart. And how do we know that the heart is involved? Verse 2 says, "In heart you work wickedness." There's a correlation between the heart and the mouth, speaking lies, or ears. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf cobra that stops its ear, which will not heed. All the wicked were once babies. Their wickedness is not something they learned or were influenced by in their upbringing. 1 Samuel 24 verse 13 tells us that wickedness proceeds from the wicked themselves. They're estranged from the womb because the heart is uncircumcised from the womb. Even if a baby does not sin yet, the heart is already uncircumcised and will grow up to resist the Holy Spirit without being taught to do so. We know this because Acts 7 verse 51 tells us that an uncircumcised heart always resists the Holy Spirit. That's what makes Acts 7 verse 51 the deadliest Calvinistic verse. The only solution to this is Deuteronomy 29 verse 4. God himself will circumcise the heart. Much more can be said, and if there's any objection to anything said here, feel free to leave a comment.